is back.
Fine.
Well,
Well,
for a
it
few
was
hours.
thunderstorming, raining this morning, and then all of a sudden the sun came out. So I was like, "Quick,
Yeah.
hang the washing, hang the washing."
Yeah,
And
no.
I was thinking
it's
about you
nice.
because you've got a tumble dryer, haven't
Yeah.
you? And I was like, "Oh, my washing is just getting more and more and more." Because it's been I don't remember the last time we had this much rain.
It has been a bit miserable, hasn't it? It's been a bit.
Yeah, it's luckily it's not constant. Like it comes and it goes, but it is like most days, every other day at the minute.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is like it's the wet for me.
Yeah,
It's the wet and the grey. But no, it's back. The sun is back.
instantly lovely.
Yes, and it's Friday. But we've had a nice week, I suppose. Well, the kids were off.
So your kids were off at the beginning of the
Mine
week.
were off, yeah, and yours were off end
Ev-
of this week.
And Kaysen's been off the end of this
Yeah,
week, but they were all off on Wednesday.
yeah. So that was Spanish Father's Day. That was
Yeah.
nice. We didn't do too much, to be honest. We just chilled at home, went for a walk.
Yeah,
Good
Kaysen made
together.
a little handwritten card.
Same as did the same.
It was funny. He put, to my amazing dad, something like, "We love you, and we are lucky to have you. You cook us food." Thanks. And then, yeah, "You cook us food. We're lucky to have you." Hayden says, "Goo goo gaga, love you too."
Oh, bless. It's so cute. Though. Yeah, so they did that. They made all the things for Dia de Papa.
Yeah.
Which was good. I went to Gibraltar.
You
I
did.
It's me and
I haven't
Mitch.
spoke to you
Yeah,
since.
literally just
How was
flew
it?
to Gibraltar.
When you say flew, you meant drive.
Well, I did. I drove. Yeah.
It's a long drive.
Yeah, it is long, but I like it. It's all right. It's a not easy drive. It's nice.
To be
just the two
fair,
of us.
me and Liam have always liked driving.
Yeah.
So when we lived in England and we were in Portsmouth, we would drive 4 hours up to Derby every now and then. And I loved it.
For me, I'd rather that get in, get out. Once you're in the airport, you're in, aren't you? You can't get out.
Yeah.
And then you're on the plane, you can't get out. You know what I mean? So it's nice. It's what you make of it, and I like it. I like it. So yeah, we drove there. Just got an idea of what it was like there, and for doing our.
Did you meet anyone, or was you just looking around? Or
No,
did you actually go to speak to?
No, I didn't meet. No, I didn't speak to anybody. I've already got an idea of everything anyway, so it was just me seeing it with my own eyes and visualizing, and and exactly how I wanted it and whatever. So
I suppose for those listening, if you don't know, if you live in Spain and if you're a resident in Spain, you've got the option to go down like doing it all paperwork in Spain, which is just long. Or you can get married in Gibraltar, and then you can have obviously either a whole nother wedding in Spain, like what we did, or you could just do a celebration or
so going down the route of paperwork as well, I'm a foreigner, aren't I?
Yeah. I've heard it's long.
It's just long, and I can't be bothered with a lot of things. I'm definitely going to be bothered with all that.
Yeah.
So it was a choice of getting married in England or getting married in Gibraltar.
Yeah.
Basically, for us.
I don't think we even considered England because we knew we were having like essentially a fake ceremony.
Yeah.
We just went to Gibraltar because we didn't make a thing of it.
Yeah. So where mine is more
the celebration.
The day is the day. So yeah. And it was nice. It was good. It was a good night stay. Got things a lot clearer in my head of how I wanted where we were going to stay, and because it's not just for me and the kids, it's for the parents as well, and the walking and the location of stuff. Do you know what I mean? So as much as it is obviously about me and Mitch, that's the main thing. You don't want to have to worry about them things, I would, of course you would. It's only normal, isn't it? It's your mum or your dad or your in-laws or your family, or you just want to make sure they're all comfortable and everyone's easygoing, and that's it. So yeah, it was nice. That side of it was good. We didn't do too much because we want to do some of it. Well, most of it. There's not that much to do, obviously, on the island, but we want to do it with the kids. Like to do the monkeys or go to the rock or the caves or whatever it is that they do. We wanted to do it with the kids. So the main thing was going to see where we'd be getting married, where we'd stay, maybe where we'd eat. That sort of thing, basically. The most exciting thing we did, we went to Morrison's.
Did you stock your car up?
Yes. So we went there the first. It was oh god, there's a Morrison. So we went in there and it was like, oh, this is so much fun. Like I know this sounds sad, people, but until you know, I don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we were like, oh, this, that, and the other. And I was like, well, we might as well just come back tomorrow before we leave, and with the car, because we didn't have. We was walking at this point, and where we were standing is at the top. So I was like, that's not happening. So we went back the next day with the car and stocked up bits that obviously can be
Yeah.
stored.
I think we did the same thing. I vividly remember going into it must have been Morrison's. I don't know if they've got any other supermarkets there, but Morrison's rings a
There was a
bell.
Marks and Spencer's, but that wasn't very good.
Oh, yeah, no.
That wasn't very good
It's too
at that.
posh.
Yeah, it was. Mick went
Okay,
upstairs
says
and I was
posh.
downstairs, and I was like, "Did you see anything you liked?" He was like, "No, the clothes aren't very good, and if they were, they're well expensive." I was like, "It's Marks and Spencer's,
Yeah.
babe."
I've heard the Marks and Spencer's food looks good and the adverts look amazing,
It's
but
not it's
I've
not
never
for
tried
me.
it.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, we would have gone to Morrison's and got like some spices
Yeah,
and
that's
cereals
it. All
and
them,
all those
all
kind of
that.
things that cost us an arm and a leg
Yeah, it
down
is.
here.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
but yeah, no, I enjoyed Gibraltar when we went. But we didn't actually go before we went to do it. So you've gone ahead of
Yeah,
time and planned it all.
yeah.
We went with like, both our parents and siblings. And we stayed at La Linea, which is on the outskirts of the
Mhm.
border, the night before. Um, we had like apartments, like all near each other, and we all arrived because we all drove down in different cars, and then like there was bottles of champagne and cava and stuff, so we all got quite drunk the night before.
Yeah.
I had the worst hangover waking up the
Doing the
morning
legal kind of side.
in the car, like driving in. I just remember like having a proper headache and hanging
Do
out
only
the
have to do half
window.
a day.
Like, oh, I feel really rough. And then we went, obviously across the border into to go in to do it. And yeah, we never had been there before. Oh no, tell a lie. The day before we did go.
'Cause you've got to go, haven't you,
You have to
to
present the
yeah,
original documentation, so that is a lie. We did
yeah.
go the day before. I think maybe even just me and Liam. I can't remember if we all went, or we might have all wandered up and down the streets or whatever. But we didn't spend much time there. Presented the original documents, and funnily enough, when we were in the queue to present them, the woman from next door, which is where the things take place, she was like, "Oh, would you two want to come and be witnesses for a wedding?" And we were like, "Okay." So we done our things,
Oh.
and we went in, and just this English bloke and this Spanish woman were getting married completely by themselves, and we were their witnesses. So we were actually like on their
Oh,
marriage certificate.
wow.
But it was good because we got to like hear the words like
Yeah.
the day before,
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
that's one thing that I was a little bit nervous about. I think Liam was probably a little bit more nervous than I was
yeah.
about saying
Yeah.
all the words and
Yeah.
repeating everything.
Oh, so what you say?
And we went in the room, and it's only a really small room, like, yeah, I didn't know what to expect, but it was nice that we got to see it the day
Yeah.
before. Then we all went back, but yeah, trying to like park, make sure we arrived on time. I just wore like a jumpsuit. I think it was like beige and pink, something like that. So we didn't dress up. I don't think we exchanged rings. So we kind of kept it like really
Yeah.
like low key because I
Mm.
didn't want to do too much there and then feel like
Yeah, 'cause like
we had like two weddings
yeah, but your main
almost.
focus was
Yeah.
the when you had the
Because we knew we were doing a
physical
whole ceremony
yeah,
and a whole
yeah.
celebration after. And we actually did it about a year before we got married because, funnily enough, we booked it for kind of like the anniversary of when we met,
Yeah.
which is, I always thought it was the 24th of November, but it wasn't. We got married on my birthday.
Oh, where?
In Gibraltar, and then we got our actual wedding with everyone and all the guests was the following
Yeah,
September.
yeah.
So we had quite a lot of the year already married.
Mhm.
But yeah, we just went that day, done it with close parents and siblings, and then we went to Pizza Hut,
Yeah.
a Pizza Hut buffet,
Yeah.
and that was kind of it. That's
Yeah.
what we did. We didn't really make too much of it.
No, that's what
I
you
think
feel
you're
like you
making a
wanna
little
do
bit
some like
more
you do
over the thing.
something like
Yeah,
because you it's marking,
yeah,
what an occasion of a
yeah,
big one because, but for you at the same time it was like, okay, this is just like the paperwork side,
exactly.
and
Yeah,
then we'll focus on that. Whereas
yeah.
more for me, this is
It's more
yeah,
of a significant day.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, it got everything clear. It was nice. We was so lucky with the weather because it was lovely there
Yeah.
on that day, just the day that we were looking around and walking around. So that was good. And yeah, and drove back, and then that was it. There was Spanish Father's Day, and then back into routine for me. Obviously,
Yeah.
yours were the other way around, but
Yeah, so you had yours off at the beginning, I had mine off at the end.
oh, actually, just a quick one. Sorry, shout to
Whoa,
tell.
whoa, calm
Sorry,
down.
it's just because I knew I had to say something, and I'll keep forgetting to say it. I have had my smear.
Okay.
So I really wanted to remind people, to girls, please, please, please go and get checked, okay? Really, really important.
Yes.
Um, yeah, that's a really big thing for me. I was told from obviously having children young that you have to have regular check. You have to have your first check after 6 months after having. your child. I mean, again, this could have changed now. So obviously my eldest is the thing, but so from then I've always had regular
Mhm.
checks, and when certain things have come up, different the different a virus that carries a cancer cell.
Abnormal cells,
Yeah,
isn't it?
so
So government
yeah,
tested
I've had
something.
to have different prevention and medication, and that didn't help in the end. So I had to have some of part of my uterus sort of lasered away because that wasn't recovering. But I'm okay now, everything's fine. But my point is they caught it and they did what they did because
Before it
I was
turned
having
into
checks.
something,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
So if
So
you hadn't have gone and you'd left it for years and years, then
yeah,
it could have been something.
yeah. This was years ago, this happened.
Yeah.
But it just really, really makes me think, get checked. Make sure
Yeah,
you get checked regular, keep on top of
yeah.
it.
It's awful when you see them stories because sometimes, people find out so late and there's not really any kind of symptoms and things
No,
to
no,
it.
there isn't.
So it's one of those things that you just have to go and do
Yeah.
as a preventative measure.
And I know it's not nice when just relax. Fucking relax.
To be honest, I've never had a problem. Like it, it really don't bother me. None of mine have ever hurt. I've probably had about
No, no, they don't hurt.
3 or
They don't
4.
hurt. They don't hurt.
I've actually got an appointment on Monday.
Mhm.
Um, it was kind of automatically booked. I don't even know whether it's a smear test or whether it's like post baby checkup.
Okay, yeah.
Because I didn't book it, but it's in my diary. It's in my calendar. So yeah,
Something's getting checked.
something's getting checked or
Or
tested. I don't
something.
know.
But the point is keep on top of
But
it.
yeah, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, and
Well, obviously Hayden's 9 months now, so maybe they have
it could be.
automatically booked me in for a smear test for
Yeah,
after,
it could be.
or it could be the fun post baby checkup.
Mm,
Right, cough for me.
mm, mm.
Although I feel like I'm a bit past that now. That first initial checkup after the baby's not nice. Although having said that, with Kaysen, it's like 6 weeks after, isn't it? The midwife
Yeah,
checks, things are all
yeah.
okay, and with
It's fine with
with
me.
Kaysen, she gave me like an internal check to make sure everything was okay. But obviously with him, it was a bit more of a not traumatic birth, but I had stitches and things like that.
Mm.
But with Hayden, I went to the same appointment after, and how are you? All okay? Yeah.
That's it.
And I literally remember going in saying to him, "Oh, I really can't be asked for
Don't
this. I
yeah,
really don't fancy it."
yeah.
And she just asked me if I was okay and sent me on my way.
Yeah.
So,
I think them from what I remember, I can't remember too much to be honest. I they're worse for me, I would say, than a smear test.
oh,
It's the
100%.
thought more than anything about all of it.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
the smear test is obviously just one thing of it. Just relax, you know what I mean? And they get the
yeah,
clamp thing to
yeah,
do what they do. Um, but the obviously the post one, you've just had so much going on down there,
yeah,
and you think the thought of someone,
yeah.
checking stuff and
Yeah. 6 weeks after.
yeah, it just makes it feel a bit funny, but it needs to be done. It does need to be done. The pelvic floor thing,
Yeah.
with the cough thing and all that,
Yeah, yeah.
I'll never forget my mum telling me. Um, obviously when I was with pregnant with Mason, because I was young, like keep your do this,
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that, all this, and I'll never forget me telling me how important it was to
Yeah,
do them.
yeah. It's one of them things you try to do and you always forget. But with Kaysen, no problem. She checked me after and she said, "Yep, you're all good." And like the cough and all that and the pelvic floors were strong. With Hayden, it took me a couple weeks to
Get back.
get back
Yeah,
to normal.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that happened to one of mine. It might have been Lexi, and she said, "Yeah," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, what does this
Yeah.
mean? Am I gonna just wee myself?
Yeah.
What happens? What does this mean? Like,
I
is it
think
gonna come back?"
I think it's different for everybody. For
It was just
me,
I don't know if it was my age, obviously, or
yeah,
the third, that it just took a bit more
exact
time to go
yeah.
back to, but it did make me think,
And
like,
also, like,
do
maybe
more, do
I
more.
don't know if it's how much you push and, like, whether it's the
Yeah,
birth related or
yeah,
whether it's
could
just
be.
how strong you are.
Yeah,
But yeah, with Hayden, I was okay to, like, hold it,
yeah,
but once I went, when, like, you
yeah.
stop
The
yourself, I
start, yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
stop
Well,
myself
I didn't think I had a
after
problem
it
until
went.
she told me. So it was only when she said it, I was like,
Yeah.
what does this mean? But I think she was just indicating, make
Need
sure you
to
do them and keep on
exercise
top of
it.
it. And
Yeah.
it's the same thing with
Yeah.
all of that general health.
I did panic, but it literally only
Yeah,
lasted, like, a week, and then I got back
exactly.
to
Yeah,
normal.
you just remind you, just a
But I was
reminder,
like, yeah, imagine, like, having that issue, like,
Mm,
for life.
yeah, yeah. So just try to prevent everything's prevention.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
I've had a few now. I had one at the Torbeck Hospital. That one was probably my most uncomfortable, but even that wasn't nothing to
No,
even, think about.
they are what they are, but they're all right.
And then I had a few with the private hospital. And yeah, the first one I went to, they told me to take everything off. I remember thinking, here for a smear test, why am I taking everything off? This is weird. But they give me a breast exam at the same time.
Oh,
So I don't
I've
know.
never had that before. I've never no, I've been no, I've never had that.
Well,
Where did you go for this, Bill?
part of me was thinking because I've read stories like doctors taking advantage and things. I'm thinking, oh my god. But was this before? Actually, this was my first smear test. I think I booked in for myself even before I'd had
It might have
kids.
been part of the thing,
So
but
I think it was just part of the package. And actually, he ended up being the doctor that I went to with my pregnancy with Kason, and he was lovely.
yeah, so it's okay. That's
So
fine.
yeah,
It wasn't just some weirdo
in the
just stick to
moment,
the
I was a
route.
bit like, whoa. And there was a nurse in the room as well. So I was thinking, right, well, if this is dodgy, he's not going to do it in front of a
Yeah, yeah,
nurse.
no, of course. I've just never heard of that before.
Well, I wasn't prepared for
Yeah,
it.
no, I
I
wouldn't
was
have
a
been.
bit
I would have
like,
been like, no.
whoa. But then I thought
I didn't know this
that's
bit.
another
Let me
thing
all of
that
you.
we need to be doing as well is feeling for lumps and bumps and things.
Yeah, that's a well, all of that. You think
Yeah.
just everything with ourselves, with the
Yeah.
kids, with your partners.
Yeah.
The men have got to keep on top of their check-in
Bits.
and whatever else.
Yeah.
And it's some people go. Well, I do. Sometimes I go funny about talking about stuff, but
Yeah.
so it is important. It is
Well,
so
I think
important.
it makes you go funny because nobody talks about
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not something that
It's not
I
even
grew
it's
up
not even that. I think it's just the
hearing
thought of
about.
it's not even that bad. That's what I'm
No.
saying. It's just like a thing that makes you go, oh yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
not even that bad.
No, I really don't mind getting a smear test. It
And you've
really's
got to
not
keep
a
on top
thing.
of it as well because obviously whether you're private or not private,
Mm.
getting appointments can be difficult. And sometimes
Yeah.
it makes you just want to give up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But keep on and keep doing it.
Well, I
And
think I requested one ages ago. I think actually in one of my post-birth checkups with Hayden, they automatically put me in for one because
yeah.
she asked me when my last one was. But I've still not been contacted to have one with the public hospital.
Mm.
But then the private one, I think they just
Was it
automatically
there?
booked me in.
Yeah. Well, either way, whatever you can
Yeah.
do, but you've got to do it, everyone.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, even with the kids, teaching them to, you know, be clean and,
Yeah.
you look after yourself, whether that's diet, exercise,
I think we
hygiene.
talk
It's
a lot more now than we ever did. It's not really something I don't really obviously like make sure you clean yourself and things like that and wash hair and stuff. But I don't remember going into too much detail about like oral hygiene, how to clean myself, deodorant and how to, wash my face, when you're getting spotty and all those things. I don't remember having conversations about it, but I feel like we're more kind of aware to have these conversations now.
yeah, I mean, probably was mentioned stuff because, um, well, I was either at the horse riding or something like that, so
You're a
there was
dirty
no
girl.
there was no but it's a funny
Mhm.
thing I find with kids that sometimes you get to an age or a stage, not even age, just a stage
Yeah.
where you can't get them in the shower. And when you get them in the shower,
I don't want to
you
get out.
can't get them out the bleeding shower. You know what I mean?
Cason's a little bit like
That's
that.
one of them things.
Yeah.
Then you get one when they don't stop showering, when they're showering morning, noon, and night for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Um, but yeah, I do think it's important that they
Mhm.
are what's aware, but of how to do everything properly from
Yeah.
boys' bits to girls' bits. And
Yeah.
they should be shown. You
Yeah.
should show them. I think
Yeah.
that's who needs to. We have to, don't we? So
Yeah.
I don't remember being shown, but I must have. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Maybe it's just one of them things that you
The-
don't really talk about and you just assume and then
yeah, but the one thing I remember being shown by my granddad was how to dry myself properly with a towel. I know that's really
is
random.
there a right way to do
Well,
that?
this was it. Obviously, as a kid, I probably just wrapped it around me. I'm like, he's like, dry yourself. I'm like, no, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
You know. And then he actually showed me how to, to do your back properly and down this way and down that way.
That's a proper granddad
No, I know, but you do. You have to go like that, don't you, to get your back properly? Like, so,
Yeah.
them kind of things. I remember that. I remember being shown that. And I know it sounds stupid, what order to dry myself?
Okay. Never
Yes,
heard
I
this.
know, but this is what I mean. So I can't just get a towel and then dry myself in these areas
Mm.
and then start drying the rest of my body.
Right,
Do you
okay.
get what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say?
It's
So it was
true.
that kind of a thing of different towels, your face towel, you've got, that kind of a thing that
Yeah.
yeah, so that's the thing in my house as well. Everyone's got different colored towels.
You told me this not long ago, and I've only just heard this, but that's a great idea.
Yeah, so everyone's got their own colored towels. You've
So then you
obviously
know
got
you're not
these.
using other people's towels
Yeah,
in a house when there's a lot of you, and
yeah,
in a house where you don't wanna wash the towel after every single use,
yeah,
or do
because you've
you?
got like, depends. So, yeah, you've got obviously like adult men, Mason and Mitch having a towel. You Mason, I think Lexi was the one. I want to wipe my face on their bum hole or something rude or awful like that she would probably say. But yeah, so yeah, all different color towels, body towel, face towel, and then you've got the general hand towel for the
Mhm.
bathroom when you wash
Yeah,
your hands off, whatever. So yeah, so that's how we do it. That's a lot easier. Everyone can follow
yeah.
that. Um, but in regards to showing them teeth, here you go. Teeth, brushing teeth.
Yeah, I saw something that come up on my TikTok, like super nanny going, you know, nowadays the schools are having to teach kids how to brush their teeth properly because the parents aren't doing it, and how much do you want to put on the teachers? Should be a parent thing. And one thing I did do for Kason is downloading this app, this Disney app, and it counts down for 2 minutes. And he does it in the morning and in the
Mhm,
evening to get a whole star because he gets
mhm.
half sticker and a whole sticker. And generally, we do for him, it's quite good to remember, and we
Yeah,
do it. He is pretty good at doing it twice a day. Um, I'd say lately I've kind of left him to it a little bit more.
yeah.
But then sometimes I can hear him like humming or talking to himself, and he's obviously not doing every tooth and
Mhm,
stuff, so
mhm.
it's keeping him focused.
Yeah.
But
Adults are just as bad for it, obviously, but that's
yeah,
where it has to start, with
yeah,
all of that.
yeah,
Um,
I'm not that strict at doing it twice a day, I must admit.
no, but we all get days that, me,
Yeah,
even me alone,
yeah,
you get into it and no, I'm not going getting out of bed now, I'm staying in bed. But it's showing them how, keeping on top of it,
hmm,
making sure they are doing it properly.
yeah,
Sometimes I'll leave mine to do, and sometimes on a random I'll check to see if they have done it properly,
yeah,
to kind of throw them.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and one thing as well that I think's not good is that they used to at school, they used to have to take, how you'd have to take your kit bag kind
yeah.
of thing. You
Like your change of
Yeah, you
clothes for after
change a
PE.
t-shirt and all your
Mhm.
smellies and flannel, whatever. They used to have to take another bag with your toothbrush and toothpaste and floss pick or whatever they had.
Yeah.
And so that they would have to go after their snack time, and if you was in Commodore, after Commodore, dinner time, to brush your teeth. And they took it, and I thought that was brilliant. That is exactly that's
Yeah.
showing what, that's a normal habit and routine.
And it's an extra toothbrush in the day, isn't it?
It should be, that's how you should, and it's just, I think it's a good example of showing, you've had your food, you go and brush your teeth now and da
Yeah.
da da. da. But yeah, they've took it out.
I was gonna say Kason's never done that, but then he started school just after COVID,
Yeah, it was
so
COVID probably.
but then
But
they brought back he has a wash bag.
yeah,
He's got a change of a t-shirt because obviously it's different because in the UK you take
have a PE
your
kit.
PE kit, so you get changed
Yeah,
into your sports clothes,
yeah,
then you take your sports clothes off, whereas here
yeah,
they just wear their clothes,
and
but
then
then
change.
they have a possible change of
Yeah,
t-shirt and they have soap and yeah, they're proper good. I've seen things all around his classroom and stuff and he tells me like how to wash your hands
yeah, yeah,
properly.
yeah.
So they're getting them into that habit.
Mm.
But it's like it's a shame that they were doing something so good
Yeah,
as toothbrushing. And
yeah,
if they're already in the bathroom cleaning themselves, what difference does
yeah.
it make to have
I
their
do think
toothbrush?
that's one thing that they should.
That's a
I've
shame.
never heard of it in the UK, and I'll never remember
No,
seeing it in
because
the.
like I say, in the UK, you change your clothes completely, but we never
But
washed.
the brushing
We
the
didn't
teeth,
wash. We didn't
I
brush our
never
teeth or
remember
nothing.
taking toothbrush to school.
No, even in El Limina, which was here, but it was an English school. We had. Did we get changed for PE? No, when we had PE
We
days,
had
we
to
wore our
pee the whole
tracksuit.
day.
We
So if we
had
had to
our
pee in the
you. You
morning,
had a
did we?
uni well, no, we had 2 sets of uniforms. So
Oh,
we had formal
I
uniform, which
probably
was
didn't
like
go
the
to 6
skirt
then.
and the polo and the jumper, which you wore on days you didn't
Norm
have
Yeah,
PE.
yeah.
And then if you had PE, you were allowed to wear the tracksuit, but you wore that all day.
Yeah.
So you didn't
I
get
think I wore
changed, you
that
didn't
every day
wash.
anyway.
I think in the end we did, yeah.
But yeah, no, we didn't get changed. I don't remember
No.
changing, but
So that's
the
like I say, it's actually
yeah,
a good
I
thing that's
should
Spanish
bring that
schools do,
back.
and especially with the heat here.
Yeah, they should.
That's
Yeah, it's
probably why they do it,
no, but it
I'd
should
say.
be, but it should be a thing,
Yeah.
of a standard basic hygiene of,
Yeah.
of them things. And
Yeah.
yeah, it obviously starts at home of, showing boys how
Yeah.
to clean their bits properly, showing
Yeah.
girlies how to clean
Yeah.
and dry their bits properly.
Don't forget the drying.
Don't forget the dry. But yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
think there's
important.
little things that yeah, for sure parents should be doing. I mean, I even saw something the other day and it never even crossed my mind yet. And obviously, Kason is still quite small, but I think he's definitely at the age I need to start being a bit more mindful for these things. Like, we don't have locks on any of our doors at home because the kids have always been little, and obviously both bathrooms, my ensuite and Kason's bathroom, they don't. There's no locks on it. So if anyone's in the bathroom, then obviously they could
Mhm.
just come in.
Mhm.
And I walk into the bathroom when he's in the bathroom, checking on him, or if he's in the bath, in and out. But I saw a woman and she was saying that even from a young age like that, realistically, you should be taught from now to close the door, knock before going in, kind of getting
Yeah,
them a little
for
bit more
Pete's
aware
sake.
of a bit of privacy. I mean,
Yeah.
he is very like
It
now when he
why
gets changed, he like covers himself up.
Yeah.
So he's getting more aware of his body anyway at this age. But it's yeah, those kind of
Yeah, I'm just
things.
trying to think of how my house is. That's why with the lock situation, because we've got locks on the bathroom, but they only really get used. They don't. It doesn't always get used. The lock.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Um. So and yeah, it's true. They should be taught that, like in that way, I suppose.
Yeah.
But then it gets to a point of being you don't want them too much. Do you get what I mean? Like, especially at home in a family,
Yeah.
that's your home, that's your family. So
Mhm.
obviously, don't leave the door open if you're having a shit, 'cause that's disgusting. But you know what I mean.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like a
yeah.
thing of, and it's just respect.
Well,
So
that's
even if the door was unlocked,
respect
you
and
knock anyway. In a
privacy.
way,
Yeah.
just. I mean, it's different at home. God, brothers and sisters and whatever, they barge in and barge
I was
out.
gonna
But
say I
as
don't
long
remember
as
having any
yeah,
boundaries as a
exactly. As
kid.
long as I think they learn that ground thing of
Yeah.
general respect, I think
Yeah.
then it's more of a common sense thing.
And I think it depends on
That
age
would
as well.
scare me. I think just because, as you were saying, I was like, oh, I don't know if how I'd feel if Lexi locked the door. Even, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That side of it.
Yeah.
Like, why are you
I
locking the
think
door? And lock
it's
the door.
yeah, I think it's an age thing as
Yeah,
well because you kind of obviously need to keep an eye on them and stuff like that. And then obviously you've got boys and girls in the house, and then you've got, you know, teenagers, preteens, ones coming up. They're all starting to get aware of themselves. And
yeah.
yeah, there needs to be boundaries, but it's
Well,
as
mine are all
put
quite
in.
open, but obviously in different houses, it's different
Yeah.
things. You don't, it is that balance,
Yeah.
obviously, of
Well, I don't think there's a need to go too far the other way that everything's completely private and
yeah,
like I can't eat because like they're in their swim stuff in the summer. It's like,
yeah,
not saying that they should
exactly.
walk around naked in
No,
front of each
no,
other,
no, and no,
but
that's.
then yeah,
But
like
there are families
sometimes
that they do that.
yeah,
We don't in our
I
house.
know some people that like wouldn't even change a t-shirt even with like underwear on in front of their siblings.
Mhm.
Um, which is obviously if it's a boy and a girl, that's a bit strange. But I mean, like even saying like two girls
Mm.
because they're so thing.
But sometimes I'll just go to have a quick wee kind of thing and just shut the door too. It's not
Yeah.
locked. It's not even shut. It's just shut the
Yeah.
door too. Quick wee and think, oh shit! Like one of the kids' friends are there. Oh
Ah.
shit! No, I forget that actually
Yeah.
someone else
Well,
is in
that's
the
it.
house.
At the moment, we're not doing that. I don't close the door when I go to the bathroom, like say, unless certain occasions.
Yeah,
But yeah, and then like Kason comes in and he starts talking to me, and I'm talking to him,
yeah.
and I don't see any problem
Mine
with it.
feel it a problem when they go in and they can't get in the door. If it's
What's
what are you
going
doing
on?
there and it's locked, but saying that I would probably do that with them. Well, more Lexi, I suppose. The
Yeah,
boys now obviously all at an
yeah.
age that whatever, but yeah,
And
it's a
then
very difficult balance, but
yeah,
it is.
but yeah, I think that you need to start kind of making them a little bit aware. But then, like I said, I don't want him to be too thing about people's. You need to cover yourself up because there's bad people out there. I don't want to scare him into
Yeah, it
learning
is.
things.
I probably said it to probably one of mine at one point.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think when I'm out more so,
Because
I
that's, I
will.
think, how we were taught.
Yeah,
There's, you don't want to get grabbed by someone or the policeman's going to cut. Like, I think we were scared into a lot of things. And my sister's really bad. Like, she's just hyper vigilant if we're anywhere. Like, there's a man on the other side of the street. She's very cautious and very like on edge. And I think for part of it is
probably
probably
that.
because you get told,
Was that the man the mom told me about?
and and it's like I mean, especially for girls, I think there is conversations that you need to have, and you need to explain these things that so girls are aware, especially when they get into teenagers
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah, yeah. But you don't want to lose their personality with
But then
it
you don't want to
or scare
scare.
them
Yeah,
to a point of them not wanting to live
yeah.
a life, But it's true. The world is a bit crazy.
And then so have you spoken to the boys about, like, how you have periods and time of the month and, you know
Yeah, so when they get to an age, they they question with stuff whether
Yeah.
something's in my bag or
Mm,
something's in a cupboard in the bathroom. Do you know
yeah.
what I mean? That sort of thing. Um, it's not something I would do in front of them.
Well, Cason's walked in on me
Yeah,
once
do you get what I mean? That's just not
changing
something
my
that
pad and
that's
was like,
yeah,
"What's that?" So
yeah,
I kind of was like, "Look, get out and I'll
yeah,
explain." And
yeah,
then I
yeah,
just said, "Look, every month so that we can have babies, if we don't have a baby, then the blood that we
yeah.
would give to the baby comes out."
Well, I can't even
So
remember
I
how I
tried not to
explained
go
it,
into
to
it
be
too
honest, but
much.
I know it was all both the boys were at an age where they'd already kind of gone over certain bits in school,
Yeah.
you know,
I don't remember doing hardly any sex education in school.
but I think we was moving here at that time. I think
Maybe.
they were the more or less, do you
Yeah.
know what I mean, ages. But yeah, so with them, yeah, that's when they asked, when they asked and they were young, I was, "Oh, don't worry about it, like, just mommy's stuff." And then when they get a bit older,
Yeah.
then I would go into
Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
have and what we have to do and
What about
so on, so on. So then when it comes to them experiencing it or being around friends who are girls who
Yeah.
have it, they don't be disrespectful or be
Yeah.
nasty or take the piss out of it or make that girl feel uncomfortable
Yeah.
or be like, "Ew," you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's the worst thing. I think we've
Yeah.
all been a situation where we've leaked at
Yeah.
school or in a public place as a
First
young
time I came on
girl.
my period, we were about to go on stage in front of all the parents,
Exactly. So
and I had nothing on
yeah.
me.
And
I think I was one of the later ones of us
it's
actually to start my
it's
period.
yeah, it's
But yeah, boys need to understand because it isn't a thing to take the piss out of, and I think a lot of boys our age did. I think boys in the next generation are gonna be a bit nicer and
I do. I
kinder.
think they're a lot more mature, I suppose, in a way,
Well,
that's
like
the
I
right
said, I
word to
think we're
use, but
just parenting differently.
maybe,
So I think
maybe.
kids are maybe made aware of things, whereas before they probably weren't explained anything.
Yeah,
They didn't know anything about
yeah.
periods, and ugh, yeah, I can kind of see where they
That's our
probably
department kind of thing.
yeah,
That's not for you to know, but in a way,
exactly.
yeah.
Now I think we talk more. What about the talk?
Mm.
Have you had the talk? Obviously,
The
Mason's
talk.
at the age where he's
Oh, the
definitely
talk.
had the
The
talk.
talk.
Morgan's
Um,
probably getting around that
Morgan,
age,
no,
but he's a bit
no.
young
Yeah, no,
still.
no, Morgan, not yet. Mason, yeah, I've done the talk. Yeah,
Oh.
Morgan's. I don't know. In my head, I think Morgan's too young, but
I think he's too young to go into detail, but obviously
oh yeah, he
he
knows
would have known
bits.
how babies are made
Yeah,
or
but the talk, that talk,
yeah.
no, not yet. Um, Mason, yeah, obviously.
What kind of age did you start talking to
Uh,
him? Because I think talking to him at the point where they're like thinking of it is a bit late. I think you don't want to do it too early, but you don't want to do it where you kind of because
I'm trying to think.
okay,
I think he was about 16,
okay,
15. Don't know. He might be 15. 15, 16, I'm gonna go on.
yeah,
Around that age, I think. Like real talk.
yeah,
Um, and it's all right, Mason, I'm not gonna embarrass you. I'm gonna be vague. But it's not even embarrassing, but obviously for him that is me talking about it.
yeah,
Um uh I re- to be honest, we you do the basics. Mitch showed how to use protection
yeah.
and how to actually put it on. Not on his, obviously, on a banana, okay? But
I think that's
really,
good because it's one thing talking about it, but then in the
yeah, when it
moment,
comes to it, you're not actually knowing what you're doing, are you? Really?
yeah.
It's like
I've
a
never thought
your
about that, but
driving
that makes
test. They
sense.
never take you on the motorway. No, you go on the motorway, it's just the scariest road of all, and you've never been taken on it. You don't know what
Very
you're doing.
true. Yeah,
So a
that's a
bit
good
like that.
analogy. That one.
Thank you. So so that, and I sort of not all at the same time. We did it in different bit. Left him to that, and then another time I spoke to him more. For me, I think of a girl side of it, like
Yeah, from like your perspective.
yeah, I think as a just to be respectful as much as he's my boy as well. He has to be looked after and his feelings need to be cared for and
Yeah,
so on so thing. But and again protecting yourselves from
yeah,
things. Um but on the, for the other side of a girl, don't just
yeah,
be aware of feelings and be
yeah,
respectful and um I have always told Mason that that girls can be bitches too. I'm not gonna paint a picture that, you have to be,
It's
"Oh,
always the
oh, oh," you
boy.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
What, because it's not,
Yeah.
but just be a good boy.
Yeah.
Be respectful. Be a good grow into a good, respectful man.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know how far to go into it without.
No, I think you're right doing that because I think a lot of people focus on the actual act of what sex actually is, but there's so much else that goes around it, and especially when you're at a young age and you're
Well,
you're
one thing I
starting.
did mention, um, maybe before this actually, the big talk kind of thing, was about porn. Um,
Yeah, because I guess that comes first, right?
I
For
think it
boys
wasn't even
especially.
through Mason. It was through a friend or something, and they were young. He was even younger than him, I think, and it was something that had been found on something that they had looked at it, and that made me think, oh, okay, hope he's not. I don't. He didn't have anything like that. I don't think phones or anything like that when it came, but it just makes you
But
think, doesn't it?
now
So I
everyone's
did
got
speak to
phones
him.
younger,
Yeah, I
everyone's
did
got
speak to
access
him,
to the internet.
and I did say that porn porn is not real life.
Yeah.
Don't expect that from a girl,
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
in to be honest, because it's not.
Yeah.
Um, and basically that,
Yeah.
so I don't want him to watch stuff like that and then expect, it's just not, you can, not saying
Yeah.
some things,
But a lot of it
but
is
it's not real
yeah.
life, is it?
It's
It's
not
quite extreme and exaggerated and
extreme is a good word because it's not
and they
just
go from,
normal.
well, I don't know, but I'm presuming they go from this to this. So yeah, so I did mention that as
Yeah.
well, that that's something to cover
Yeah.
when I had to talk about
Yeah.
stuff for me.
Again, that's something that I probably would have forgot
Yeah.
about. So
I've only done boys at the minute. I'm nowhere, well, I've done boy. I've done one child,
yeah,
and every personality is different too. So
that's
when it
it.
comes to that, I don't know how. Mason was brilliant talking to. Mason's
Yeah.
great.
I
He's
think you 2 have always been comfortable talking about a lot of things anyway, and you've spoke to him quite frankly, like, as he's grown up about
Yeah,
all different stuff,
I've
so it
tried
probably
to.
makes when you get to that point easier to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, I was shocked, like, I'm sure Liam said he'd never had to talk
No,
at all. My mum spoke to me, obviously,
I'm trying to think if I had to talk. I mean, I was obviously told because I remember going, I know, and then as soon as I said I was pregnant, oh, you know what I mean. So yeah,
yeah. I think it's one of them things that, when you get spoken to, especially that age, parents, what do you know?
yeah,
So, like, obviously, I know best. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And also, I think just naively as a teenager, you never think it's going to happen to you.
no,
I think you probably were a bit naive to, "Oh,
yeah,
ain't going to happen to me. I know,
yeah.
I know,
That was
mum,
it.
whatever."
That was that.
And yeah, I think just naturally as a teenager, that's how you take any kind of,
Yeah, but
information from
your
your
family, these are your
parents.
children, and you think the point of being a parent is mostly giving life experience to advise them and help them
Yeah.
along the way. But the main things of hygiene and we need to do
Yeah.
it for ourselves. Like
I
I've just
think
said about smear tests.
demonstration is the
You know,
best. At the end of the day, you can preach to your kids all day long,
yeah,
but that kids learn more from what they
yeah,
see. So if you're not exercising, if you're neglecting your body, if you're not ever going to the doctors when you're not feeling well or complaining, that's what they learn and
yeah.
that's what they're going to pick up
And to
on.
be fair, mine do see us go and have yearly blood
Yeah.
tests and things like
Yeah.
that to check yearly that we're okay.
Yeah.
Eye tests,
Yeah.
smear tests. They
Yeah.
I don't go into too much detail in certain ages, but
Yeah.
they know, yeah, I've just got mummy's bits been checked just to
Yeah.
check everything's okay.
Yeah.
And that's it. Because I
I've
can't see
yeah.
inside. They can have a look inside
Yeah.
properly, check everything's okay. And then I
Exactly.
carry on.
That's the kind of conversations that we're starting to have. I think, like I say, just be open about everything. Age appropriate is obviously the main takeaway as well. But like even yesterday, I was watching Temptation Island, which is about couples that go to an island that like are at a tough point in their relationship. They're either going to stay together or they're going to break up. One normally makes the other one go because one's not happy. Then they get split up into two villas and the boys live with loads of girls and the girls live with loads of boys. It's basically to explore and be like, do I miss that person? Do I want to be with that person? Or actually, am I too interested in the
Mhm.
temptation that I've got here?
Mhm.
And
Oh, wow.
one guy cheated on his girlfriend very quickly with zero remorse. It was actually pretty disgusting. And I'd be
Mm.
devastated if like any of our boys
Mm.
grew up and acted that way. So yeah, Kayson's playing, he's not watching obviously, but then I'm like, "Oh my god." And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, that boy was really horrible to his girlfriend and he kissed someone else and he shouldn't have done. If you don't want to be with your girlfriend, then finish it with your girlfriend and move on. Something like that. And then I was like, and he's just really nice. And that's not how you treat people. And then I was like, and if you're, that's not how you treat your partner that you're with.
Mm.
And he was like, yeah, because if someone treats you like that, they're just not your person.
Oh, bless him. He's right though. He's
But
right.
that's
That
what I
goes
mean.
for relationships,
Yeah,
friends, anything, family.
absolutely.
You know,
And
you're not.
I think start talking from this kind of age and modeling it. And he said to me, he was like, because I said, I have never treated daddy like that. And he was like, has daddy ever treated you like that? I was like, no, absolutely not. It's getting them to see things because he sees mine and Liam's relationship as normal, but we're trying to model something for him, but
Yeah.
that's not what every relationship is. So yeah, I think age appropriate, obviously.
Yeah, I think I say age. It could be just general as if their child's maturity or when you think
Yeah.
it's ready for your child to speak about.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but yeah, it's got to be done, and I think it's really
Yeah.
important. But I'll say it again.
Smear test,
Smear test
girls.
girls, big, big one.
Yeah, I've got mine Monday.
Yeah.
Hopefully they give me one. Hopefully.
Hopefully, well, you're turning up for something.
Well, yeah, some sort of
Stretch your
check.
legs, girls.
Either way, I'm going to get my legs up. So we'll see. We'll see what the appointment is.
Right, should we finish up with a game?
Yes, let's do a
'Cause I like
game.
this bit.
So the game today is health, myth, or fact.
Mm-hmm.
So go for it.
Right then, so
I'm going to be the first one to guess.
yeah, so you should drink 8 glasses of water a day.
I'd say that's fact. Like your body's made
I
up
would
of a
say
lot of
that's
water that you should be
Yeah.
drinking it. Like everyone talks about dehydration.
It's a myth. The amount of water you need depends on factors like activity level, climate, and diet. Some people get plenty of hydration from food.
Wow. Okay.
There
Fair
you
enough.
go.
So
Next one.
this is irrelevant then.
Yeah.
The size of this.
I don't even have one, so that's fine.
Trying to
So
drink
good.
more and don't even need to.
Smear tests can detect all gynecological. Oh God, I can't read. Gynecological
Yeah, I'd say.
cancers.
Yeah.
Myth. They only detect changes in cervical cells, not ovarian or uterine cancer.
I thought that you'd be able to know ovarian cancer from a smear
You
test.
get the cells first, the cancer cells, like I was explaining,
Oh,
from a
right.
virus.
Yeah. Wow, okay.
That's interesting, actually.
So
You'd say the main
you'd
thing
need
would be
different
that.
tests
Yeah,
for
I presume
other
so.
ones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
presuming that's a starter thing, like in a blood test or something else, isn't
Yeah.
it? Okay. Next one. Wearing a bra to bed causes breast cancer.
I heard this. I did used to do it a little bit when I was younger, but now I wear sports bras more than anything. But I heard this, so I'm going to say it was true.
I would have said it was true as
Yeah.
well, not to wear, especially your
I'm
wired
sure
ones.
someone told me that because obviously
Yeah.
when you first start wearing bras.
Myth. There's no scientific evidence linking bras to cancer. Get them out, girls.
Rumors.
Get them out. Saying I do remember when you've got them wired, horrible, uncomfortable. The best thing is taking it off, isn't it? The best thing.
I've
Okay.
not had that feeling for years.
No, I haven't because I don't. Literally, I don't even want to do it. Okay. You can't get pregnant while you're on your period. You can't get pregnant. I just want to read that again just so I can understand the question. You can't get pregnant while on your period.
I would say that's true. I think.
Well, first of all, sex on a period then.
Well, yeah, you'd have to do that.
Ew.
Should probably shame a lot of our viewers now. But yeah, that's
so old now, aren't I? Ew. Back in the day, so. Okay, so what?
No, that's gross. That's a no-no. But
what was the okay.
yeah, you'd have to on your period so that you could get pregnant. But I'd say no, you can't get pregnant.
Oh, well, I would have said yeah, but then I clearly don't really get it all. I'm joking. I'm joking. You can't get pregnant while on your period. Oh God. Either way,
use that as contraception.
Nah. Exercise can help with period cramps.
Yeah.
Fact. Movement increases blood flow and releases endorphins that can help reduce pain.
Which is the last thing you want to do when you got period pains, but yeah.
Yep. Yeah. God, yeah. It is. You just want to crunch up.
Painkiller and a hot water bottle for me.
I don't get them as much now, to be fair.
I only every now and then, but mine have got worse as I've got older.
Mine have gone the other way. They've got better, but I feel like I'm going back again. I don't know where I am.
And then I think from where I've not took the pill for the last few years, they've got worse. Whereas my periods were better when I was on the period. On the pill.
Yeah, so I've never been on anything like that. So I wouldn't know. Next, final. Your gut health affects your mental health.
Oh, I've started looking at a lot of gut stuff because
Mhm.
we've had belly issues, and yes, it does.
Yes, yes, stresses you out. What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
In fact, the gut and brain are closely linked, and an unhealthy gut can contribute to anxiety and depression.
Wow.
There you go.
So now I'm going to
So you
test
don't
you.
look after yourself, people.
Yeah, definitely. I've
That
looked at
also
more gut
includes going
stuff.
out and having fun.
Yeah, obviously. I'm not saying
That's
like
good.
wrap yourself in cotton wool and sit in the corner.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. All the boring going to appointments and stuff. It's
Right.
also
So these ones aren't really about female stuff, but these are kind of silly and outdated myths. So, right,
okay.
myth or fact? If you eat too many carrots, you'll turn orange.
I would have said fact only because someone said, "Is it not like Sunny Delight?" or saying like that. Oh, that's an orange. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say myth.
No, it's fact.
Oh, I was nearly
It's rare, but eating excessive amounts of beta carotene
right. Yeah.
found in carrots can turn your skin slightly orange.
I remember that with like a Sunny Delight or something like that
Yeah,
was a
a kid
thing.
drank so much they turned.
Yeah.
Well, whether that's true, I
I don't
don't
know
know.
if it
But
was true or not, but yeah.
cracking your knuckles causes arthritis.
Well, I thought that this was true
Well, that's
because
what I've always.
everyone in my house does it and I hate it. It
It's
just
not
makes me
nice
feel so
unless I do it myself.
no, they
But
all literally on everything. Anything they can crack, they'll crack and it's myth,
yeah,
isn't it?
I don't like hearing other people crack, but I do crack myself. Not regularly, but yeah. No, it's a myth.
It is a myth.
Studies show it doesn't cause arthritis, but it might annoy people around you.
Yes, exactly that. I think I just told him in the end that it
Yeah.
says, but they looked it up.
You swallow spiders in your sleep.
It better be a myth. That better be a myth.
Your face went so serious.
I'm not. My eyes are starting to water.
Yeah, no, it is a myth.
Oh
That's a myth.
my gosh.
There's no scientific evidence that supports this, and spiders don't actually want to crawl into your mouth.
No, thank goodness, because I actually do think I see that.
Shaving makes your hair grow back thicker.
I was always told this.
I was
It
told this
doesn't
as well.
work. I didn't know that I was shaved, but I've tried and it doesn't
Well,
work.
even Spanish shave their daughters' babies' heads when they're little
Stop.
because apparently it grows back through thicker. Well, it's a myth, so you don't
Thank
need to
you.
do that.
Thanks.
Hair might seem thicker when growing back, but shaving doesn't change its texture or density.
Ah,
Going,
maybe I'm guessing diet and health does.
yeah, gotta be
There you
something
go.
else. Going outside with wet hair will make you sick.
Yes.
No, it's a myth.
What? Turn this off now
I was
because
gonna
I've
say.
told the kids.
I was going to say, I
Turn
was
this off
definitely
right now.
told this when I was younger, but you telling your
All
kids
of
that.
that, yeah.
I think I've said it's casing as well. No,
Surely.
colds are caused by viruses, not cold weather or wet hair.
Oh,
Chewing gum
can't
takes
don't
7
believe
years to digest.
who?
Chewing gum takes 7 years to digest if you
If
swallow
you
it.
swallow it, I think
I
yeah.
heard
I'm gonna
this.
say yeah.
That's a myth.
We've just been told so
Basically,
many.
our whole childhood is a lie. Chewing gum, your body can fully digest gum. It passes through your system normally.
No way.
Eating chocolate causes acne. I've never heard that.
Well, it's sugar, so I'm gonna say yeah.
That's a myth.
Oh, that's a good one though. I don't mind that.
There's no
It
direct
didn't stop
link,
me.
though a diet high in sugar and processed foods may contribute to breakouts. You can sweat out toxins in a sauna.
Yes.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
Is it not
It's a
true?
myth.
Oh, what the hell?
Your liver and kidneys do most of the detoxing. Sweating just helps regulate your body's temperature. So when they say sweat it out
Mm.
and wrap yourself up those, it's
So
fake.
I
It's like
oh, chat shit. You
you
can go out in the rain with your hair wet. Don't worry.
can swallow chewing gum, eat loads of carrots. Don't worry. The 5-second rule means dropped food is still safe to eat.
Yes. 5, 10, 20, depends where you are.
This is a myth because bacteria can transfer
Mm.
instantly. But hey, we've all been there.
Yes, exactly that. That couldn't do one because it depends where you are, who you're with, and what you dropped on the floor.
Yeah. So
What's
there
like
you
your
go.
lowest favourite thing? You're like, no, just pick it up.
Especially if you're at home. Not that
that's what
I
I'm telling you.
actually mop my floors very much. But
Mine are probably the worst, but yeah, no.
yeah.
Cool.
Well,
I
that's
like
it.
games.
That was good. There's a lot of things that we've been lied to.
Yeah, I hope that is true. Imagine it's not true. Now we're confused and now it's come back to us.
Well, Google says so.
If you don't.
So yeah, before we log off, just a reminder to book your smears in, like we said, and
Yes.
yeah, continue to support us. You've had a lot of people telling you
Yeah,
about the
thank you for
podcast.
watching. It's a bit weird actually because I don't see a lot of people anywhere.
No one, I've not really seen anyone.
And I've seen a few different people recently, and yeah, it's not like, "Hi, how are the kids?" It's like, "Hi, your podcast." And I'm like, "Oh yeah,
Oh,
hi, I
that's
do
nice, because I do
podcast."
forget this actually goes live and people can
Yeah,
actually watch it.
yeah, no,
Well, I do have a quick look, and Liam always tells me how many people have viewed it.
yeah. So it is. It's nice. Thank you for your support. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Any feedback? Any ideas? You got anything to tell us? Stories? Let us know.
Yeah. So continue to share with friends, family, keep watching, subscribe, like, comment, whatever. Or everything means a lot to us. So thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Happy Friday.